what has always scared white politicians like Donald Trump, Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, what's always scared them is the idea of black people voting. Because black people voting means black people serve in the House of Representatives, the Senate, and on the Supreme Court. Black people voting means black people help write and interpret the law. And who has a problem with that? People who think this is my country, not theirs. The white Christian nationalists who have taken over the Republican Party, people like Mike Johnson, Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, whose grandparents were Jewish refugees, like I said, these are stupid people, can't expect any consistency from mental defectives. These are not sound minds. They will tell you, I'm not prejudiced. I don't have a problem with black people or non-Christians or Jews or Muslims or immigrants. You're all welcome to live here. You just need to watch yourself because this is not your country. It's mine. Now, I know it's hard for most of you to get your head wrapped around this, unless you're black or Latino. You get it. But if you're a white liberal, even a white leftist, people don't really believe. Yeah, they do. They do. They believe white Christians are what are called heritage Americans. I know. But this is what they believe. It's what Tucker Carlson, J.D. Vance, Charlie Kirk, and our Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, honestly believe. They are heritage Americans. It's why people like Vivek Ramaswamy, who's running for governor in Ohio as a Republican, he's Indian heritage, and J.D. Vance's wife, Indian heritage. They're running up against so much hostility from people in their party. The resistance they face, even though they're Republicans. Vivek Ramaswamy says, I have conservative values. And MAGA world is going, we don't care, you're not white. He's Hindu. Another problem. The resistance these people face is they're told, you can live here. You're welcome to live here in the United States. We have nothing against you, but you got to behave. Don't get any ideas into your head that you own this country. You're a visitor. We have no problem with you. But just remember, you're not a real American. A real American. It's a term used by the same people who call themselves heritage Americans. Now, most of you are too busy to give this any credence because it's just so it's reactionary. You think we've evolved past this. Why would anyone take pride in the fact that they can trace their ancestry back several generations? Well, tribalism is a human trait. Humans need identity and a sense of belonging. It's in our DNA. We all want to be able to define ourselves in a way that gives us pride, in a way that separates us from others. And we want to belong to a community that we feel is special. We're communal animals, and we want to be part of a community that we feel is special. But most of my listeners are busy living our lives. But there are way too many stupid, broken down, straight white Christian men who can't get laid, involuntary celibate men, who are being sold the idea that you too are part of something bigger than yourselves. Not only that, you're being persecuted. Your birthright, your country has been stolen from you by Jews orchestrating the Great Replacement. This is what MAGA believes. Now, most of them don't say it openly, but more and more are, which is why Nick Fuentes had the #1 podcast on Spotify until they had to take him down. He's a self-avowed Nazi who's visited Mar-a-Lago. Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly have normalized him. The dirty, dark secret on Capitol Hill is Nick Fuentes is the most popular podcast among male Republican congressional staffers under the age of 30. This is where the Republican Party is heading. They believe, and Trump plays into this, and Steve Bannon identified these people in 2015. He was the first one to see the incels, the involuntarily celibate men in chat rooms. And he said to Trump, you can mobilize these men into an army of supporters who believe immigrants, people of color, are flooding the border with non-Christian people of color, and they're going to vote you out of existence. They're going to vote you out of your home, your job. This is your home, not theirs. Are you angry? You should be. They're kicking you out of your own home. And we won't have a country left if we don't fight like hell and march down to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically and let them know, unquote. Donald Trump on January 6. January 6, what was it? It was white grievance, white male grievance. It was angry white men, many carrying the Confederate flag, wearing neo-Nazi tattoos, neo-Nazi symbols. It wasn't about policy. Partly, they thought it was the election that got stolen, but at its core, it was a white male riot who believed the country was being stolen from them. Not the election. Our country is being taken from us. Real Americans taking their country back. Real America. Heritage Americans. That's who these people are. Real Americans. Real Americans. There is a 24-hour news channel called Real America. It's ultra right-wing, pro-Donald Trump. And if you watch it, all they do all day is sing the praises of real Americans. And who are the real Americans? White, Christian, straight men. That's who it is. Real Americans. There is America, and then there's real America. And it's my country, not yours. We have what Donald Trump calls the enemy within. This is a term used by Hitler, used by Latin American dictators in Brazil, Chile, Argentina, throughout the 60s and the 70s. It's the language of authoritarianism, enemy within. Trump says repeatedly, this is what he says, I honestly believe the biggest threat to America isn't Russia or China. The biggest threat to our country is the enemy within. His defenders say, well, he isn't really. He's talking about undocumented immigrants. That's all he's talking about. They're the enemy within. But last month, when Democrats wanted written into the Department of Homeland Security spending bill a provision that border and ICE agents cannot deport American citizens, Stephen Miller ordered the Rules Committee to get rid of it. He found that offensive because he has no problem with American citizens getting deported, which they are. It is why one of the demands Schumer and Jeffries are making right now is that the Department of Homeland Security spending bill will not pass unless written into it is a provision preventing ICE and Border Patrol from deporting U.S. citizens. This is something that shouldn't have to be written into a spending bill. It's already in the Constitution. But that's how lawless Stephen Miller's purge has become.